90% of people struggling with sleep are making the same critical mistake right now, and it's silently sabotaging their metabolism, inflating their belly fat, and keeping them awake at night. For months, I watched my own body betray me. No matter what I tried, the stubborn weight around my midsection wouldn't budge, and every night felt like a battle I couldn't win. Then my doctor dropped a bombshell. My cortisol levels were through the roof. But here's where it gets interesting. When I asked about medication, she said something that changed everything. She told me there was a natural way, something people have used for centuries. But most doctors never mention it because, well, I'll tell you exactly why in just a moment. What I discovered were 7 specific herbs that could naturally lower cortisol, melt away stubborn belly fat, and restore deep, restful sleep. But there's one herb at number 1, often called nature's Valium. That's so powerful, it works on the same brain receptors as prescription sleep medications. However, there's a critical time limit you must follow, or it can cause serious rebound insomnia worse than what you started with. I'll reveal exactly what it is and how to use it safely at the end. Before we dive in, drop a comment below with your age and how many hours you typically sleep each night. I'll personally answer every question you have about your situation. Now, let me show you these 7 powerful herbs and exactly how to use them safely. Number 7. Ashwagandha, Indian ginseng. The one that can cut your cortisol by nearly 30% and transform your sleep in ways you never thought possible. This is the ancient root that monks have been using for over 3,000 years to achieve deep, restorative sleep. And what makes this herb so powerful is something most people have no idea about. Here's what's happening inside your body right now if you're struggling with sleep. Your adrenal glands are pumping out cortisol, the stress hormone, like a faucet that won't turn off. Even at night, when cortisol should naturally drop, yours stays elevated. This keeps your brain wired, your belly storing fat, and your body in constant fight or flight mode. Ashwagandha works by directly communicating with your HPA axis. That's the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, essentially your body's stress control center. It acts like a dimmer switch, gradually turning down your cortisol production so your body can finally shift into rest and repair mode. But here's the proof. A groundbreaking study published in the Journal of Evidence-Based Complementary and Alternative Medicine followed 60 adults with chronic stress for 60 days. The results were remarkable. Those taking ashwagandha saw their cortisol levels drop by 27.9%, compared to just 7.9% in the placebo group. But it gets better. Their anxiety scores decreased by 44%, and they reported significantly improved sleep quality within just 6 weeks. Now here's how to use it correctly, because timing is everything. Take 300 to 600 milligrams in the evening, ideally 1 to 2 hours before bed. You can find it in capsule or powder form. If you're using powder, mix it with warm milk or water. But here's the critical mistake most people make. They take ashwagandha in the morning, thinking it will help with daytime stress. Wrong. This actually works against you because you're lowering cortisol when it should naturally be higher in the morning to give you energy. Always take it in the evening. One more thing. If you're on thyroid medication, talk to your doctor first because ashwagandha can increase thyroid hormone production. And pregnant or breastfeeding women should avoid it completely. Start with the lower dose of 300 milligrams for the first week and see how your body responds. Most people notice better sleep within 2 to 3 weeks, but the full cortisol-lowering effects take about 6 to 8 weeks. Now, ashwagandha is amazing for lowering cortisol, but the next herb works in a completely different way. It actually stops your body from turning stress into belly fat, and when you combine them together, the results are even more powerful. Number 6, holy basil, Tulsi. This one is special, and here's why. You know how stress makes you crave sugar and carbs late at night? And no matter how hard you try to resist, your body seems to store every single calorie straight to your belly? That's not a willpower problem. That's a blood sugar problem triggered by stress. And holy basil fixes it at the root. Let me explain what's really going on. When you're stressed, cortisol spikes your blood sugar. Your body then releases insulin to deal with that sugar. But here's the problem. High insulin tells your body to store fat, especially around your midsection. It's a vicious cycle. Stress creates high blood sugar. High blood sugar creates high insulin, and high insulin locks fat onto your belly. Holy basil breaks this cycle in a brilliant way. It contains compounds called eugenol and ursolic acid that help stabilize your blood sugar levels, even when you're under stress. This means less insulin, less fat storage, and less of those intense nighttime cravings that sabotage your progress. The science backs this up. A clinical study published in the Journal of Clinical Pharmacy and Therapeutics followed 150 participants with stress-related metabolic issues for 12 weeks. Those taking holy basil extract experienced a 17.6% reduction in fasting blood sugar and a significant decrease in cortisol levels. But what really caught my attention was this. They also reported a 39% reduction in stress-related symptoms and better overall sleep quality. Now here's how to use it effectively. You have two options. You can drink it as tea, which is how it's traditionally consumed in India, or take 400 to 600 milligrams in capsule form. The key is timing. Take it after your evening meal. This helps control that post-dinner blood sugar spike and prepares your body for restful sleep. If you're using tea, steep 1 teaspoon of dried, holy basil leaves in hot water for 5 to 10 minutes. Drink it about 30 minutes after dinner. One important note. If you're on blood sugar medication or blood thinners, check with your doctor first, because holy basil can enhance their effects. But now, what if I told you there's an herb that works even deeper? One that doesn't just lower cortisol or balance blood sugar, but actually calms the chatter in your mind that keeps you awake at 2 a.m.? That's number 5, and it's a game changer. Number 5. Magnolia bark. Let me tell you about Sarah, a 70-year-old friend of mine. She said she could fall asleep just fine, but around 2 or 3 a.m., she'd wake up with her mind racing, replaying conversations from work, worrying about tomorrow's tasks, creating problems that didn't even exist yet. She'd lie there for hours, exhausted, but unable to shut her brain off. Does this sound familiar? This is exactly what Magnolia bark was designed to fix. And here's how it works. Your brain has a natural calming system controlled by a neurotransmitter called GABA. Think of GABA as your brain's brake pedal. It slows down overactive thoughts, quiets mental chatter, and helps you relax. But when you're chronically stressed, your GABA receptors become less sensitive. It's like your brake pedal stops working properly, and your thoughts just keep racing. Magnolia bark contains 2 powerful compounds, magnolol and hinokiol, that act like a tune-up for your GABA system. They don't just increase GABA, they make your GABA receptors more responsive, so your brain can actually use the calming signals it's receiving. The research on this is impressive. A study published in Neuropharmacology examined the effects of magnolia bark extract on 56 adults with anxiety and sleep disturbances. After just 4 weeks, participants reported a 42% reduction in nighttime anxiety and significantly fewer episodes of waking up with racing thoughts. Even more interesting, their deep sleep duration increased by an average of 31 minutes per night. Here's how to use it. Take 200 to 400 milligrams about 1 hour before bed. Start with 200 milligrams for the first few nights to see how your body responds. You can find it in capsule form or as a liquid extract. One important caution: magnolia bark can interact with sedative medications and alcohol, so avoid combining them. Also, if you're pregnant or breastfeeding, skip this one. Sarah started with 200 milligrams, and within a week, she was sleeping through the night. No more 3 a.m. wake-ups, no more mental marathons in the dark. But here's what really excites me about the next herb. while Magnolia bark calms your racing thoughts. Number 4 actually speeds up how quickly you fall asleep in the first place. And the research shows it can cut your sleep latency in half. Let me show you. Number 4. Passion flower. Now, if you're someone who lies in bed for 30, 45, even 60 minutes waiting for sleep to come, this is the herb you need to pay attention to, because while the previous herbs work on cortisol and anxiety, passion flower does something completely different. It targets sleep latency, the time it takes you to actually fall asleep. Here's what's happening when you can't fall asleep quickly. Your brain is stuck between two states. You're tired enough to be in bed, but your nervous system hasn't fully transitioned from alert mode to sleep mode. It's like your brain is idling in neutral, unable to shift gears. Passion flower contains flavonoids, particularly chrysin and benzoflavone, that gently nudge your brain into sleep mode by modulating GABA activity, similar to Magnolia bark, but in a softer, more natural way. Think of it as a gentle hand guiding you from wakefulness into sleep, rather than forcing you there. The research is compelling. A double-blind study published in Phytotherapy Research tracked 41 adults with mild sleep difficulties over a 7-day period. Those who consumed passion flower tea before bed fell asleep an average of 15 minutes faster than the placebo group. But here's what really stood out. They also reported a 5.2% improvement in overall sleep quality and experienced 32% fewer middle-of-the-night awakenings. Here's how to use passion flower effectively. You have two options. Brew it as tea using 1 teaspoon of dried passion flower in hot water, steeped for 10 minutes, or take it as a standardized extract in capsule form. The key is timing. Consume it 30 to 60 minutes before you plan to sleep. This gives the compounds enough time to start working as you're winding down. If you prefer tea, sip it slowly as part of your bedtime routine. If you're using capsules, follow the dosage on the label, typically around 250 to 500 milligrams. A word of caution: passion flower can enhance the effects of sedative medications. So, if you're on sleep aids or anti-anxiety drugs, consult your doctor first, and avoid it if you're pregnant. But now we're moving into something really interesting. The next 3 herbs don't just help you fall asleep or stay asleep. They work on your entire body system, from digestion to hormones to immune function. And number 3 might surprise you because it's probably sitting in your kitchen right now. Number 3, lemon balm. This is where things get really interesting, because up until now, we've been talking about herbs that work directly on your brain and stress hormones. But what if I told you that a huge part of your sleep problem isn't happening in your brain at all? It's happening in your gut. Here's what most people don't realize. Your body has 2 operating systems: the sympathetic nervous system, which is your fight or flight mode, and the parasympathetic nervous system, which is your rest and digest mode. When you're stressed, your body gets stuck in fight or flight. And here's the problem. When you're in that state, your digestion shuts down, your thyroid slows, and your body physically cannot relax enough to sleep deeply. Lemon balm is one of the few herbs that actually flips the switch. It activates your parasympathetic nervous system, telling your body it's safe to rest, digest, and repair. It does this through rosmarinic acid and flavonoids that bind to GABA receptors, while also supporting healthy thyroid function and calming digestive distress. A fascinating study in the Mediterranean Journal of Nutrition and Metabolism followed 85 adults with stress-related sleep issues for 15 days. Participants taking 300 milligrams of lemon balm extract twice daily showed a 42% reduction in anxiety symptoms, a 39% improvement in sleep disturbance scores, and notably, a 33% reduction in digestive discomfort that was interfering with their sleep. Here's how to use it. You can brew lemon balm as a soothing tea using fresh or dried leaves. 1 to 2 teaspoons steeped for 10 minutes. Or take 300 to 500 milligrams in capsule form. I recommend taking it twice daily, once mid-afternoon and once about an hour before bed. This helps keep your nervous system in rest mode throughout the evening. If you're on thyroid medication, start with the lower dose and monitor how you feel. As lemon balm can influence thyroid activity, and it's generally safe, but pregnant women should consult their doctor first. Now here's where it gets powerful. Everything we've covered so far helps you fall asleep and reduces stress. But the next herb does something none of the others can do. It actually increases the amount of deep sleep you get, the stage where your body burns fat and detoxifies your brain. And the research on this one is absolutely stunning. Number 2, reishi mushroom. Reishi contains powerful bioactive compounds called triterpenes and polysaccharides that do something remarkable. They don't just help you sleep longer. They actually increase the amount of time you spend in deep sleep, also known as slow wave sleep. And this is critical because deep sleep is when your body does 3 essential things. It burns stored fat, releases growth hormone to repair tissue, and activates your brain's waste removal system called the glymphatic system. Think about it this way. You can sleep 8 hours. But if you're only getting 30 minutes of deep sleep instead of the 90 to 120 minutes you need, your body never fully recovers. You wake up tired, your metabolism stays sluggish, and toxins build up in your brain. This is why people can sleep all night and still wake up feeling exhausted. Reishi changes this equation. The triterpenes in reishi, particularly ganoderic acids, promote deeper, more restorative sleep cycles while also calming your central nervous system. Meanwhile, the polysaccharides strengthen your immune system, which is crucial because poor sleep weakens immunity. A groundbreaking study published in Pharmacology, Biochemistry, and Behavior examined 132 participants with chronic fatigue and poor sleep quality over 8 weeks. Those taking reishi extract showed a 28% increase in deep sleep duration measured by polysomnography. They also reported a 41% improvement in overall well-being scores and a significant boost in immune markers. Specifically, natural killer cell activity increased by 34%. Here's how to use reishi properly. Take 1 to 2 grams of reishi extract powder or follow the dosage on your supplement, typically 500 to 1,500 milligrams, about 1 to 2 hours before bed. You can mix the powder into warm water, tea, or even a small smoothie. The key is consistency. Reishi works best when taken nightly, for at least 4 to 6 weeks. Important notes. Reishi can thin the blood slightly. So if you're on blood thinners or about to have surgery, talk to your doctor first. It's also not recommended during pregnancy. And some people experience mild digestive upset when first starting. So begin with a lower dose. Now we're down to number 1, and I need to be very clear about this one. It's the most powerful herb on this entire list, but it comes with a serious warning that you absolutely must understand before using it. This one is not for everyone, and I'll explain exactly why. Valerian root contains potent compounds called valerianic acid and valipotriates that work on your brain's GABA system more aggressively than any other herb we've discussed. In fact, valerianic acid binds to the same receptors that prescription sleep medications target, but through a natural pathway. This is why valerian is often called nature's Valium. Here's what makes it so powerful. Valerianic acid doesn't just encourage GABA activity like magnolia bark or passion flower. It significantly increases GABA concentration in your synaptic gaps, the spaces between brain cells, which creates a much stronger sedative effect. This makes it incredibly effective for people dealing with acute insomnia, severe anxiety, or complete nervous exhaustion when nothing else has worked. The clinical evidence is remarkable. A meta-analysis published in the American Journal of Medicine reviewed 18 randomized controlled trials involving over 1,000 participants with chronic insomnia. The results showed that valerian root improved sleep quality scores by an average of 37% and reduced the time to fall asleep by 14 to 17 minutes. More impressively, in cases of severe insomnia. Participants reported up to 80% improvement in subjective sleep quality after 2 weeks of use. Now here's how to use it, and this is critical. Take 400 to 900 milligrams of valerian root extract 30 minutes to 2 hours before bed. You can use capsules, tablets, or tincture form. Start with the lower dose of 400 milligrams to assess your tolerance. But here's the serious warning I mentioned earlier. Valerian root is for short-term use only. No more than 2 weeks at a time. Why? Because your brain can develop tolerance to it quickly, meaning you'll need higher and higher doses to get the same effect. And when you stop abruptly after long-term use, you can experience rebound insomnia that's even worse than what you started with. This is strictly for acute situations. A stressful life event, a period of severe insomnia, or nervous breakdown. It's not a daily, long-term solution like Ashwagandha or Reishi. Additional precautions. Never combine valerian with alcohol, prescription sleep medications, or anti-anxiety drugs. The combined sedative effect can be dangerous. Don't use it if you're pregnant, breastfeeding, or about to have surgery. And some people report vivid dreams or morning grogginess. So avoid driving or operating machinery until you know how it affects you. Now, before we wrap up, let me give you some crucial advice about using these herbs effectively. First, never use the same herb continuously for more than 30 days. Your body adapts, and you'll build tolerance. Instead, rotate between them. Use ashwagandha for a month. Switch to holy basil. Then try reishi. This keeps them effective long-term. Second, avoid those sleep gummies loaded with sugar or cheap tea bags filled with low-quality herbs. You're wasting your money and consuming unnecessary sugar that spikes your blood sugar at night. Invest in quality capsules or loose-leaf teas from reputable brands. And finally, be patient. Most people notice some improvement within 3 to 7 days. But the real transformation happens after 3 to 4 weeks of consistent use. So there you have it, 7 powerful herbs that can naturally lower your cortisol, melt away stubborn belly fat, and give you the deep, restful sleep you've been desperately searching for. Remember, your body wants to heal. Sometimes it just needs the right support. Now, if you found this helpful, please hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss our health tips. Share this video with someone who's struggling with sleep, because they need to hear this too. Drop a comment below, letting me know which herb you're going to try first. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Sleep well, my friends.